grateful for the Thompson Free Library for sharing this space with us. And my name is Merrilee. I am the Community Food Coordinator at Scotticus Regional Food Center, and I'll be facilitating this session, this first session tonight. Housekeeping note, we are videotaping tonight's session, and we'll going forward in our sessions, we'll be videotaping those as well for our homebound gardeners and folks that couldn't attend. And so we'll have that information up on our YouTube channel, PR Food Center. We have one of those now, which is exciting. So the video will be pointed in this direction for the duration. Just so you all know, we're live now. So the way that we thought this session would go, before I dive into talking about what Garden in a Box is, how Garden in a Box started, I'll do a little bit of that, and then I'm going to open up the floor to Susan Stevens. She is our garden coach. She's also a master gardener volunteer, and she'll be going over the basics of container gardening with you all, at which point we're going to have a little Q&A, and we invite you folks to come at us with your questions, insights, let us know what brought you here, and what you're looking forward to learning, and then we'll have a little 5-minute stretch break, after which registered gardeners will stay. We'll wrap up the evening, and our gardeners will stay because we've got some information for our registered gardeners. So that's a little bit about that, how we're going to conduct this. So Garden in a Box, quite the name. It's not necessarily a box, it can be any kind of container. But it came about through the Scotticus Regional Food Center working with the Cooperative Extension and distributing the One Tomato plants. Who all is familiar with One Tomato? Okay, so a few of you, wonderful. And so for those of you that aren't familiar with One Tomato, it's a project that the Cooperative Extension offers, and you basically distribute little seedlings, right? Tomato seedlings.
We distribute 400 seedlings, mostly in Piscataquis County. And it started, I believe, 6 years ago, maybe 7 now, as just kind of a way for people to try gardening or grow just one thing and maybe go back to gardening. And last summer, or early summer, we distributed through the commodities food distribution.
Right. Exactly. Thank you for offering that bit of information. And so one of the things that the feedback that we got was really awesome. People were saying, "Oh my goodness, this was such a joy," and the feedback we got was that grandkids were picking little cherry tomatoes and eating, and families were enjoying it, and this pattern emerged where we thought, wow, people are really enjoying this, and questions and considerations arose. Well, what would it look like if we offered folks more choices? What if folks were able to grow other vegetables of their choosing? What would it look like if folks with limited mobility and limited space and limited resources could grow vegetables for themselves? And so our fabulous Erin Calloway wrote a grant, and this project is funded now through the Quimby Foundation, their generous donation. And so we now have the capability of having a year-long project. So this project is the duration of the growing season into the fall and into the winter with monthly workshops. We started small because it's brand new. We had 20 slots, so we invited 20 people, and word out, and whoever called, they signed them up, and they are signing up for a really an experience, a learning experience, because what we realized when we were putting this together was that we didn't want to just provide a service, we want this to be driven by community need, right? So what do people want to grow? What do they want to learn about? What needs do they have in their particular home, in their particular space? And how can we incorporate that into this project? So with that kind of autonomous gardener backdrop, you all will see at your seat you have feedback cards, those little note cards. There's also a tentative suggested workshop list for the duration of this growing season, as well as a community calendar, all things good and grown, that highlights some things and events that also are resources for our community members. But of particular note is the feedback cards and that workshop list, because as we move along tonight, as we move along in our work or learning series or workshops going forward, we totally invite your insight and your input. If there is a topic that tonight, or a question that you have tonight that you prefer to write in, please do so. Holly, our awesome AmeriCorps Vista, can collect the feedback cards and bring them up, or you can just raise your hand. But additionally, if you see anything on the workshop idea list that you think could look a little different, we invite that feedback also. So that's a little bit about our overview. We are partnering, really trying to get local resources, local equipment. Our little example grow bag containers come from the Corn Garden Center. We're partnering with the Soil Water Conservation District for an event, and the Cooperative Extension folks, and local farmers to help us with some of the seedlings and soil. So we're really very excited about this community-based project. And I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions about the specific origins of Garden in a Box? Okay, wonderful. Well, without further ado, I would like to introduce Susan, who is one of our garden coaches for this project, because the folks that have signed up for the more intensive learning experience will have Susan and or Jackie visit their home and help them with site selection. But all of our future workshops, this information will be available for everyone. So, thank you.
Okay, so welcome. This is a new adventure for us as well as for some of you. But I wanted to ask you a couple of questions first. How many of you, by raising hands, have gardened before? Yeah. How many of you feel like you're more or less experienced? A couple, okay. I have a lot of experience, not a lot of success. So. And the mantra for all gardeners is, next year, we'll do better. And, don't be discouraged if you don't get, a peck of tomatoes, or if you don't get, 500 beans. Because next year, you can do better. So I wanted to just talk to you about, you need to, when you're working in a garden, or if you have a garden in a container, you need to think about, where am I going to put this? Can I put it on my porch? Yes, if it's an open, like a deck. You can put it on the deck. You can put it in any sunny spot in your yard, beside your driveway, around your house. If you only have shade, you're kind of limited on what some things you can buy, can grow. You can grow lettuce, you can grow herbs, stuff in the shade. So you want to think about that, and you also want to be thinking about, what do I like? Am I going to grow kohlrabi? Nah, maybe not. But will I grow beet greens? Yeah, I love beet greens, or Swiss chard. You're gonna grow corn. You cannot grow corn in this. You can grow the corn plants, but you won't get corn. So corn needs a field. But you can grow just about anything else. You can grow a couple of squash plants. You can grow zucchini. You can grow a tomato and other things. You can grow quite a few carrots. You can grow a lot of onions. You can grow, you can grow a lot of stuff in this container. It's a 15-gallon bucket. It's fabric, kind of like the ground cover cloth is what it is. It's porous, so moisture will go in and out. Yeah, just pass that right around so you can feel it. And it's lightweight. It won't be when it's full of dirt. So when you take your bags home, we'll come later with the soil to fill them in. Because we can't expect you to carry around 40 or 50 pounds of soil in a bag. And we're not going to do it either. So the biggest thing with a container like this is that it has to be watered often, more often than you think. Sometimes daily on the hot summer days. So, stick your finger in the soil, and if your finger's wet, don't touch it. But if it's dry all the way to the end of your finger, you better water it. And water it well. Don't just, put a cup full of water in it. It's got to be wet. And probably the first time you water it, you'll have to wait for the water to come out the bottom. So wherever you set this, it shouldn't matter if things get wet underneath. So be thinking about that. When we pass out the list, there'll be a list of seeds and seedlings that you can
And I think
receive.
I think you all have in
yeah.
your packets
So, yeah.
the list of seed versus seedling
Yeah.
suggested.
So, just as a question, especially the inexperienced ones, can you put tomato seeds right in the ground? Well, sometimes they self-seed, but that's from last year. But no, tomatoes have to be started early, like just about now is when people are starting their tomato plants. And so you'll go to the greenhouse or wherever and pick up your tomato plants later on. Same with peppers. Just about anything else can be planted directly into the soil. So, and you can plant your lettuces and your peas as soon as the soil is thawed out, as soon as it's warm enough. Like even sometimes mid-April, you can plant that stuff because the cold doesn't bother them. You can't plant cucumbers then because it'll just rot. But your greens and stuff will do well. So look at your list when you have time at home and see what do I like. And what we're doing, we're not giving you the Gurney's catalog of a million different things to grow because that's just overwhelming. But you'll have green beans, you can have a choice of green beans, and probably it's the most one of the most common varieties. The same with tomatoes. Is it going to be a choice of tomatoes?
We're just doing cherry tomatoes, but we'll get them through
Yeah.
tomatoes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the same thing everybody else.
Yeah. So it'll be a generic type of, with squash, pumpkins, zucchini, that sort of thing. If those of you who are experienced gardeners want heirloom tomatoes or whatever else, you're on your own for that. So that's, pick what you want to grow, and then are we passing out the square foot gardening to everyone, or just to our people? Okay, all right. Because you can grow like your carrots. You can grow in any container. You can grow in a 5-gallon bucket. You can grow in old milk jugs. You can grow in feed bags with holes in the bottom. You can grow in anything. So to say I don't have any place to to grow anything, everyone has some place where they can grow. You can grow things in the windowsill. You can start your tomatoes in the south window. You can plant your lettuce and your herbs and grow them right in the kitchen, right in the window. So container gardening is so versatile that anyone can grow something. Everyone can grow something. Just do your, look at your thing, do your thing, and we'll have soil available for our gardeners, but we'll also probably have extra soil.
Okay. And I'm wondering if this evening, since you all have that list in front of you, and given what Susan, you've mentioned, maybe now would be a good time if anybody has an idea, what of the seed and seedlings on that list popped out, and maybe Susan or Tricia, you could speak to how those things would grow and do well in a container.
Yeah.
Did anybody? Yeah.
I don't know if it was you. You sound very enthusiastic. The lady I talked to was enthusiastic.
Catch me on a good day? Yeah.
So the tomatoes and basil grow really well together because the nutrients help each other underneath the soil. So, like, how many different things would we be looking at for, like, probably 2 things for a container that
So
size?
say you wanted tomatoes. Everyone like tomatoes? So you get 1 tomato, put that right in the middle. And you can put around it, you can put herbs, you can put onions, you can put flowers, for that matter, you can if you want. But you can grow quite a lot of stuff in here.
Okay.
And like if you grew lettuce, all right?
Can I just say something about not putting it right? I would not put the tomato right in the middle, because the cherry tomatoes are indeterminate.
Oh,
and
they
will
just-
just, they
Go everywhere.
explode.
I forgot
So
that
if you
it
put
was
them
cherry.
towards the side,
You can let them hang over.
then you will have room to plant your other things.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, but so the cherry tomatoes, so an indeterminate plant is one that will just keep growing taller. My son-in-law had yellow, little pear tomatoes, and they took over his garden. I mean, they were 10 feet tall, 10 feet long is what they were, just draped all over everything else. So yeah, if these will be cherry tomatoes, so yes, you'll put it at the edge of your thing, and then you'll have room for other stuff.
So do we make a list of what we want and then pick it up at one of these, or did you say we go to a greenhouse?
The 1 tomato will be available for anybody.
Okay.
There'll be 100 of them or so?
Well, right, so to clarify, what this evening is just a general, open to the community, learn along with us. We were able to secure 20 slots for folks that are going to be receiving kind of intensive levels of containers and soil and seedlings. As we go along, though, we'll be providing general community members like yourselves with information on where you can go to also get those items yourself. And the cooperative extension is always available to answer those questions. We have their contact information. You can call the food center. We can try and connect you to places to pick up that equipment yourself. So these are kind of in the spirit of just wanting to share as much information with folks as possible as we move along this project. Does that help clarify? Ish? Do you have another additional question about what's happening? Please, by all means.
No, I was just wondering, like, if do we make a list of what we want and then you bring it to one of these things for the garden in the box? And
Yeah.
like, would we make a list of how much we want, and then you guys guess at how much is gonna fit in that and supply that?
Well,
or-
right, so we, for the general community, what we were thinking, right, our idea was, and this is where we definitely welcome feedback, but on your schedule there, the next workshop in April will be designed to do the garden designing. So, I know, you're ready to go,
I'm ready to
which
go.
it's easy to do, right? It's easy to jump into wanting to imagine placement and really thinking about that. So in between now and the next session, which location date to be determined, but we will have that out in paper and you all will know about it and we'll make sure it gets out. But in between now and then and tonight, just think about, well, what vegetables do I like? What recipes do I use? And then when you come back to the next learning series, then we'll be able to say, okay, we've got maps, you can draw out how you want to plant them. Our other garden coach will be with us, facilitating designing and thinking about companion planting, which I think you were asking about with basil and tomato, right?
Yep.
Which I think Holly was the enthusiastic one.
Hi.
Yeah. So that's how we have thought this would go, is that community members can kind of let that simmer, think about that, call the extension, call the food center, probably more the extension than the food center about plant type questions. So yeah. Okay, wonderful, good.
But, yeah, and I was just thinking,
I wanted to put in a plug.
oh, put it
These
in a
are
plug.
sisters, by the way. How are you? These are, yes.
So I was just gonna put in a plug for our share shelf. Last year, over at the extension office. Does everybody know where the extension office is? No. It's right by the courthouse. So it's kind of across the street. It was originally the barn for Peak's house. So it's to the back of the parking lot.
Okay.
And we're there Monday, Thursday, and Friday from 8 to 4:30. So you can find an actual warm body there on those days. Other times you can just leave a voicemail. So we had a share shelf there, which was for folks to pick up and drop off fresh produce. Early in the season, we had seedlings and seeds out there. So that's my intent this year as well, is to have seeds and seedlings available there for folks that are
Anybody.
for anybody who may not be Garden in a Box participants.
What kind of seeds? Do you know what kind of seeds and seedlings you might have there yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
No. I mean,
I was just curious.
yeah. I don't know what I got left over.
Yeah,
But I'm
because
sure the one tomato seedlings will be there for sure.
What is
but
your phone number there?
It's 564-2301.
What did she
Have a car.
So this is who we would call about plant questions?
Yeah, that's me.
Yep. I was in at the dollar store the other day, and I found little boxes, planters, for $1 a piece at the Dollar Tree. And they'll fit in a double hung window, right there, on the inside, or outside too, but, so if you want to go down to Bob's, get some potting mix and put that in and start some seedlings yourself, or they also had seeds in there for $4 for $1, 4 packets for $1. And most of it comes up. You know, I don't know how old the seeds are or what the quality is, but they're just general brands of beans and herbs. And I picked up some basil and some cilantro and lettuce that I'm going to put in my little window box in the window. So I've got a thing of potting mix down in the basement, so I'm going to bring that up, thaw it out, and fill up my little boxes. But this is something you can be thinking about, mulling over your mind. What do I want to grow? What do I really like? And can I grow things now? And then when I cut down the lettuce and eat that, can I put something else in? Yes, you can. Just keep growing things right through till October. Succession type thing. And we'll talk more about that next month. But so don't be afraid to call the extension office. Some of you will have my number, and I can come to your house and we can dig in the dirt together. Because that's what I like to do. That's my favorite thing to do, is play in the dirt. Yes, so for container garden, you don't need much